Solomon T. McCauley is the Next-Gen Specialist for Central Iowa Workforce Development Board in Charlotte, North Carolina, where he has the task of providing guidance in Central Iowa region for the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act Youth Service. McCauley is a 2004 graduate from Livingstone College, Salisbury, North Carolina, graduating with a Bachelor's of Science degree in Social Work. McCauley enjoys speaking to motive and empower youth and the adults that work with them. McCauley is the author of the 6 Keys to Youth Engagement. The book also has been translated in Spanish. He looks forward to continued success facilitating conversations to bridge the gap in youth engagement and making positive impacts in lives of youth worldwide. Welcome, Mr. McCauley.
Thank you, Jane, for that wonderful introduction. To Mr. Gary and the team here on site, in my mind, I can see all the seats being filled, but to the team that's here on site, it's an honor to share this stage today with some amazing people. And finally, to those of you that's watching online, once again, we wish you was in person. And so we hope this message goes out to you and you are able to embrace it as if you were here on site. Allow me to take a moment to introduce myself the way I introduced myself a few months ago. I have only 1 minute, only 60 seconds in it, forced upon me, can't refuse it, didn't seek it, didn't choose it, but it's up to me to use it. I will suffer if I lose it, give an account if I abuse it. Just a tiny little minute, but eternity is in it. That's a poem by Dr. Benjamin E. Mays that I love to speak about because when you really think about the time that we have, it's very precious. So I won't take too much of your time today, but I want to press upon you a few things. Allow me to shuffle the deck of words on this stage for a few minutes. And these 4 words will serve as the foundation for this conversation today and also this school year: empathy, engagement, encouragement, and empowerment. As we set sail for a great year, allow me to share with you that empathy is a skill that cannot be artificial, but a skill that can be learned only if you want to learn it. I will go a step farther and say, if you know that empathy is something that you lack, take some time and truly learn how to develop it. But then ask yourself, can I be effective this year in this job and not display empathy? But I know that many of you are doing just that. But those of you that have lacked in that area, encourage yourself, push yourself to develop it just a little more. As we look at engagement, let me ask you a question. How do you as teachers, how do you engage those students in your classroom? How will you engage them this year? Think about that for a second. How would you engage them? How you engage your students can shift your classroom for better or for worse. If you all were in person right now, I will ask this question. Have you ever had a student that you were glad that they missed days out of school? Were you excited when some students missed days out of school? And yes, I asked that question in real time. I know some of you are wondering why I asked that question. So let me push the envelope just a little farther. For every student that you wish would miss more days because they got on your nerves, let me ask you another question. How many times and how many ways have you decided or figured out how to try to engage them? I would challenge you this year. Find ways to engage those students that may not particularly be your favorite. What you may discover is that very student is the student that truly needs you the most. I want to encourage you this year, go against your own grain. Go against your own grain. When we do something for so long and we become experts, we can sometimes put ourselves in a box that destroys our own ability to be creative. And destroying the ability to be creative, sometimes it hinders our delivery even in the classroom. You may not believe it, but it's true. I believe once you discover your level of empathy, that shows through your engagement, and it comes out in the ways that you encourage others. And after you have done those things, it creates a level of empowerment that cannot be taken away. And as I close, one last thing that can sum all of this up. It was spoken in a line in Act 1, Scene 3 of Shakespeare's play Hamlet. And I want to encourage all of you today, to thine own self be true. And if you don't mind, I want to close the same way I opened. I have only 1 minute, only 60 seconds in it, forced upon me, can't refuse it, didn't seek it, didn't choose it, but it's up to me to use it. I will suffer if I lose it, give an account if I abuse it. Just a tiny little minute, but eternity is in it. My name is Solomon McCauley. It's been a pleasure to stand before you today and have a great year. Thank you.